Hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm gonna share with you guys my favorite go-to products, and I figured I would just do like a full face of products. So I'm just gonna go through each product and tell you what it is, how I use it, why I like it, things like that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm pretty much just gonna go in the order of how I do my makeup. I'm just gonna start off with the face first and go in that order, and then move on to the eyes, and then to a couple other things after that. So the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is this primer. So this is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I love this primer. It's really good for smoothing out texture. It's a pore filling primer, and so it really does, like, once I started using it, I noticed a huge difference in how my makeup looked, and it's super affordable because it's e.l.f. I think it's like $8. So yeah, that's my favorite primer, and I always use it every time I do my makeup, even if I'm just doing light makeup or if I'm doing full coverage. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to foundation, and I actually have two that I want to share with you guys. So the first one is this one, and this is the Physicians Formula The Healthy Foundation. I really like that foundation. It's a drugstore foundation, but it's a little more on the pricey end of drugstore, I guess. Like, it's not super inexpensive or anything, but I don't think it's expensive by any means. I like that one when I want to do a more natural makeup or just lighter makeup overall. So yeah, it does a really good job of evening out my skin tone, and it also wears really well throughout the day. I feel like it looks better just as you wear it longer, as like your natural oils kind of peek through a little bit. I feel like it looks even more natural, more dewy, and really pretty overall. And I wouldn't say it wears super long though, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna be wearing your makeup all day long, like morning to night, then I definitely wouldn't go with that one. That's more of like a daytime foundation, I would say. But this next one that I'm gonna be talking about, I would recommend if you're gonna wear it like all day long. So the next one is Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Foundation, and it looks like this. And I love this foundation when I want a more full coverage look, and it also wears really long, and so I use that one if I'm gonna be wearing my makeup all day long. That one also is, you can get it at the drugstore, so it's pretty affordable. Pretty much everything that I'm gonna be talking about is pretty affordable, and you can find it at Ulta, Walgreens, CVS. Like, most of them you can find them pretty much anywhere, and so yeah, that's really good. Okay, so next I'm gonna go ahead and move on to concealer, and honestly it took me a really long time to find good concealers that worked for me, because my skin is pretty dry, especially my under eyes, and so if the concealer that I use is even a bit too dry, then it won't work on my under eyes. Like, it'll get really like creasy and crepey and like ugly and gross. I don't know, I had to find the right concealers for me, and so it took me a long time, but I finally found two specific concealers that I love and that wear really well on me throughout the day. So the first one that I really like is the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, and it looks like this. I really like this concealer because it has really good coverage, and it also, like I said, it wears really well throughout the day on me personally. So whenever I'm gonna go for a more full coverage look, and I just want I don't want super dewy skin, or I want it to last a little longer, I'll use that concealer on its own. Pretty much most of the time I'll also use this concealer, which is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and they have like a more matte finish. I think it's more matte finish. I haven't tried it out, but I decided to try this one specifically because it says hydrating, and like I said, I can have pretty dry under eyes most of the time, and so that one I use mostly anytime I do my makeup, honestly. Even if I'm doing a more full coverage look, then I'll just mix the two concealers, and I'll do most of the e.l.f. foundation, no, not foundation, I'll do most of the e.l.f. concealer, and then I'll just add like a touch of the CoverGirl concealer on top of it, and then I'll blend them together on my skin. Sorry if there's background noise, by the way. I live with my family, and so they're here, and there's kind of a lot of noise sometimes, so don't mind that. Hopefully you can't hear it too much. But anyway, yeah, so most of the time I'll just mix the two concealers because they look really, really pretty. So I love those. I don't know if there's any other concealer that could top them, but those are my go-to favorite ones. There's a couple other concealers that I like, but as far as like my favorite ones that I always use, I would say it's those two for sure. Okay, so next is face powder, and I really like this one. I've been using this one for a while. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and it looks like this. Again, you can find this at the drugstore. It's not like super full coverage, so it doesn't change the tone of your, like if you put your foundation and then put the powder on top, it doesn't really change the shade of the foundation. As I've mentioned, I have dry skin, and so I've always kind of been someone that hasn't really been able to use a lot of powder because it can look pretty cakey on my skin, and I've never used a powder that makes my skin look as smooth as this one does. It literally makes me look airbrush. So that in combination with the e.l.f. primer that I talked about, oh my gosh, match made in heaven, literally, because with the primer my skin already looks really smooth, and then once I go in with the powder on top, it doesn't look cakey at all. It adds a little bit more coverage, like a touch more coverage if I need that. And I feel like I've used powders in the past before that, like if I sweat, you can see the powder, like it makes like a weird film or like texture, and this one doesn't do that. Even if I sweat or anything, nothing happens to it. It doesn't move, it doesn't get ugly, cakey, nothing. Alrighty, so now on to bronzer, and I was back and forth between this one and the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I think that's, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But I ended up choosing this one because I really love the tone of this one and the formula. Like overall, it's just a really pretty bronzer, and it's the one that I reach for the most, if I'm gonna be totally honest. I used to use the Too Faced one all the time, like that was the one that I would always reach for, but as soon as I got this one, I started using this one pretty much every time I did my makeup, and I still do use it most of the time. So this is the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer. If you guys haven't tried out BH Cosmetics, I highly recommend them. Their products are so affordable and they're so good, especially their brushes. I love their brushes. I've bought a couple of their brush sets and they're all really good. I feel like sometimes when you get a brush set, there's like a couple brushes that you won't use, but that's not the case with their brushes. But anyway, we're not talking about brushes. Okay, so this is the bronzer right here, and as you can see, it's a pretty warm toned shade, which I love for bronzing, and you can't really tell here, but it does have like little teeny tiny flakes of shimmer. It's not glittery at all. So yeah, this is how the outside of the packaging looks. It's really cute packaging also. So yeah, I use the shade Cocoa Cutie, and so yeah, I really love that bronzer. It's super affordable. It blends really well. The tone is so good. And yeah. Okay, now for blush, I didn't even have to think about what my favorite blush is. It 100% is the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush, specifically in the shade Mellow Wine. I have been using this blush for years. I've been using it so long. I have it in the old packaging and I have it in the new packaging too. But I will say, look, I have to show you this. I think they changed, not I think, I know. They changed either they changed the shade or mine is just really old. But the shades are totally different. I love both shades. Either way, I still use both of them. But they're literally totally different shades. See, like, can you see that? This one is so much lighter and this one is like darker. So that's the only thing. I mean, I love it anyway. So I don't know if you can get the one that's in the old packaging anymore. I don't think you can. But either way, that one's really good as well. Like I said, specifically in the shade Mellow Wine. Wet n Wild is super affordable. really good. I love their products. And next is another Wet n Wild product. I'm going to be talking about the Mega Glow highlighting powder, which is their highlighters. First of all, specifically in the shade Crown of My Canopy, I use this shade not as a face highlight. I actually use it as a blush topper. So it's like this really pretty, delicious, orangey, peachy shade, and it just goes so perfectly on top of any blush, literally, especially those two blushes that I just mentioned. It just makes your blush look so glowy. It just adds extra glowiness to the skin. I'm actually wearing it right now. And so yeah, like that extra glow that you see there, that's not my highlight. That's actually my, well, I guess it is highlight, but that's like the highlight that I use as a blush topper. And then also I really love this shade, which is Golden Flower Crown. It looks like this. It's just a gold highlight. They have really good highlights. They're really smooth. They're not chunky, they're not glittery, and they're really intense, but they're not too intense. Okay, so I guess that was the whole face, and now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to eyes. So it kind of took me a minute to decide what palette I wanted to share with you guys, but I really wanted to show you something that if I only had one palette, like, I don't know if I'm saying that right. If I only had one palette, this is the palette that I would want to have, because it has such good shades. It has a good range of shades. It has natural shades. All of the shades, in my opinion, are pretty wearable, except for a few. It has a couple like more colorful shades. So my favorite palette, I would definitely say, would be this one. I hope you can see it. This one. And it's the Jaclyn Hill times Morphe palette. Okay, so here's all of the shades. As you can see there's a lot of warm tones, but then it also has 4 colorful shades that honestly I think are pretty wearable, and they're shimmers, so I feel like you could add them to any look just to kind of amp it up. But I feel like it has such a good range of shades. Like, it has really natural wearable shades here, like in the top 2 rows, and then it has your darker shades that you would need on the bottom 2 rows, as well as a few pops of color for options. And as you can tell, mine is very well loved. So honestly, I feel like that would be a good palette, like a good stable palette to have in your collection. If you don't want to have like a million different palettes with all the same shades, I would say definitely go with that one. It's Morphe, so it's pretty affordable. Again, like I said, you can always get them at Ulta or off their website, and then they also have stores. So I mean, it's pretty accessible to anyone, honestly, and so I would definitely recommend that palette. Okay, and next I'm gonna go ahead and move on to liquid eyeliner. As you can see, I love me a good wing, and so my favorite eyeliner ever in the whole world is this one. And this is the NYX matte liquid liner, and it's so good. It's really black, as you can see. So it has a little tiny brush tip. As you can see here, it's super small, it's super precise, and it makes it so easy to get a wing if you like doing wing liner, or if you just like doing like a basic like just line for your eyeliner. It makes it super easy to do that because it's so small and so precise. And it's, for me, it's really easy to use. I know a lot of people do like using pen eyeliners. I personally, those are not my favorite. I don't know why. I just find it easier to work with liners that have a brush tip, and so I really like that one. And then it's matte. I don't like liners that dry shiny or glossy. I feel like, I don't know, I guess it's just personal preference. I prefer a matte liquid liner. Okay, so next is mascara, and I do have a few mascaras that I like, but my top favorite mascara would definitely have to be the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara, and the tube looks like This mascara is so good. So this is what the brush looks like. It's one of those like fluffy bristled brushes. It's really volumizing, which is what I like. I don't have super long lashes or anything, but I don't have short lashes, so I don't really look for mascaras that are lengthening. I look more for mascaras that are gonna be volumizing and make me look like I have more lashes than I actually have. And I feel like it gets every single lash hair and just makes it look, I don't know how it does it, but it just looks really good. And so that's my favorite mascara ever. Okay, now for lashes, and I just grabbed this pack. I don't have a specific pair of lashes that I love. Well, you know what, I guess I do. It's the ones that I'm wearing right now. These are my favorite lashes ever. I don't know, I've tried to find them, but I can't find them anymore, so I don't know if they even sell them, but if they do, I'll link them down below. They're the Kiss lashes in the style Pompadour, but just in general, Kiss lashes are my favorite lashes ever. They're so affordable and they're so good, and they have such, the ones that I've gotten, the majority of them, they have such a thin lash band, which makes it so easy to apply them. They're really easy to work with, and they're really nice, and they have so many styles. And most of the time Kiss lashes are on sale at Ulta, which is that's what I've seen recently. And so honestly, I would say go snag yourself a pair. Like that pack, I think I got it on sale for like $5. No, maybe like $7. And it's 5 pairs of lashes. So I would definitely recommend going to check them out on Ulta. I really, really love their lashes. And they're not like those plasticky, weird lashes. Even though they're really affordable, they do look really, really pretty. And they look like real lashes. Not like your natural lashes. I mean, I guess it depends on what style you get, but this does not look like it's my lashes, but they're really cute. So yeah, I definitely recommend those. And I forgot to grab my lash glue. But anyway, my favorite lash glue ever is, I think the brand is Ardell. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. I'll pop in a picture right here, and it's the Duo Lash Glue, specifically the brush on one. Oh my gosh, that's the easiest one to use, the one that you just have, because you just have to brush it onto the lash. Or I've also seen a lot of people that brush it straight onto their lid and then they just pop their lash on right there where the glue is. And I get the one that dries clear. It's really good, and my lashes stay on all day long as I apply them properly. I don't know if you guys saw my last video, but one of my lashes was like popping off in the inner corner for most of the video, and I didn't even realize. So anyway, as long as you put your lashes on properly, it will keep them on all day long. Next I'm going to go ahead and talk about lips, and this product that I'm going to talk about would definitely be the most expensive thing that I'm talking about. It's not really that expensive, but I feel like for a lip product, maybe it's a little on the pricey side, just a little bit, but honestly 100% worth it. And it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip products. I tried to choose what I like better, like the gloss or the liquid lipstick, and I could not pick. I have a few shades in both, and I love, 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 love their glosses and their liquid lipsticks. They're so pretty. The liquid lipstick wears so well. It doesn't like get all crusty and gross and bunch up anywhere. It doesn't flake off or anything. It lasts really well all throughout the day. I've worn that specific formula so many times for long periods of time, and it lasted really well through food, through drinks, everything. It just lasts really well. And if it does start to fade or kind of wear a little bit, it doesn't look unflattering. Like, it doesn't look gross or anything. It just wears really, really nicely. And the same with the glosses. The glosses wear really nicely. I have this shade on right now. It's the shade Toffee. And I love the glosses specifically because they're really pigmented. It's almost like just using a really, really creamy lipstick, because they're pigmented, so they have color, And so as they wear throughout the day, they're pretty glossy, I would say. But as they wear throughout the day, obviously glosses don't last as long as lipsticks. And so as it wears and the glossiness kind of goes away, the color stays on your lips, and so it still looks like you have something on your lips, and your lips still feel really hydrated and moisturized even though the glossiness is already gone. So yeah, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, whatever time it is whenever you're watching this. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and drop a comment down below. Let me know if you've ever used any of these products, or if you do happen to try one out, let me know how you like it. Did it work for you? Did it not? I would really love to know. And then also make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, guys, I will see you in my next video. I love you. Bye.